Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. So before we dive into today's podcast, I just want to let you know that I am grateful and honored again to have Spotify as my sponsor for this podcast episode and future episodes. And the big question that people always ask me is, how do you get started with a podcast? Well, what I want to tell you is that there's an all-in-one place that's absolutely free, and it's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here's how it works. And this is exactly how I got started with mine. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. I started with my phone, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating it right away. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple, everywhere your podcast can be heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take your conversations with your fans to the next level, like I like to, you can do Q&A, you can do polls, and that's the best way to get people talking. And with Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads like this, podcast subscriptions, and so much more. And best of all, it's totally free, no catch. And again, I have now eclipsed 500,000 listens on this podcast. So I want to thank each and every one of you. I could not recommend this anymore. And if you are listening to this and you are ready to start your podcast, start today. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started right away. And I cannot wait to listen to yours. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Networking and Marketing Made Simple. Super excited for today's episode. Quick little announcement. At the end of September, early October, Nancy and I are excited to announce that we are going to be reopening the doors to our 12-month or year-long group mastermind program called Expert Authority. So we take a group of 10 people over a year's time period. We've been doing this for the past 3 years or so. And we help people become the experts in their space, make sure that their websites are optimized, make sure they have a proper lead magnet, they're collecting emails, they have a podcast in place, they're writing their book, they have a course, a membership, a coaching program, whatever the holes, gaps, and bottlenecks they have in their business, we have a strategic plan for it. It involves one-on-one coaching with myself and Nancy. There's weekly group calls, mindset calls. There's a book club. We also obviously take lots of feedback and advice. So we do breakout sessions. We have guest trainers. So if you're interested in finding out more about Expert Authority, I'm going to leave the website where you can go check it out. It's thetimetogrow.com, but I'll leave that website link in the description of this episode. And if you would like to schedule a call, we do set aside a few VIP spots. These are people that pre-enroll. Actually, we have 2 people already pre-enrolled for the next round of Expert Authority. So if you're that person that really wants to become the expert in your space, you want to get more visibility, you've always wanted to streamline your podcast or create one, you've always wanted to write a book or write another one, you've always wanted to have a course and grow your email list and have everything going in the direction that you wanted to grow and scale. So running a small but mighty business, we can help you do that. So again, go to the description of this episode, click on the link, find out more about it. And if you want to, you can also schedule a call. So in today's episode, I'm going to be diving into something that I talked about previously. And this is the honest truth of what's going on with LinkedIn right now. And why this needs to be talked about is because even myself, being a LinkedIn coach, LinkedIn consultant, I am very transparent and very honest when I see things changing on the platform, when I see numbers changing on the platform, when I see people getting different results on the platform. And I think what makes me want to more outwardly speak about this is that there's a lot of people out there that are still telling people that things are working the same way that they did a year and 2 years ago on LinkedIn when they're not. Things have rapidly changed. And there's three specific things that you really need to know about the state of LinkedIn right now. And this is going to help you. And it's not to say that LinkedIn doesn't work. It absolutely does. The two people that actually pre-enrolled for our year-long mastermind, one came from LinkedIn. So it still works. But what you have to understand is that you have to be creative. You have to come up with inventive ways, because the old methodologies of what used to work, the hundreds of leads on LinkedIn, the tons of calls each week on LinkedIn, those days are gone right now. And it's because there's a lot of spammers. There's a lot of people using automated processes that they shouldn't. So I'm going to go over the raw and real on three specific things that you need to know about LinkedIn right now. And number one is the connection acceptance rate is down. Now, if I want to rewind a little bit with all of you, and you were to ask me maybe in 2021, even 2022, where the acceptance rate was per 100 connections. So for every 100 connection requests sent, I would say the acceptance rate was between 35 to 45%. So for every 100 that you would send out, you would get about 35 to 45 new connections every single week. Because again, remember, you can only send 100 connection requests a week. So people were at a clip getting 35 to 45 new connections every single week, week in, week out, which led to a lot of other opportunities. Now, this is significant as far as the decrease, because this significant decrease affects other things on LinkedIn. It affects the amount of conversations, the amount of messages, the amount of responses, all of those things. So when you kind of put all of that together, it really starts with how many new connections are you having accepted each week on LinkedIn. Now, that new percentage is somewhere in the range of, I would say, on the very low end, 15%, and I would say on the very high end, around 28 to 30%. So figure anywhere between 15 to 30 new connections being accepted per 100. Now, again, that's still a great opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's still going to lessen the amount of people that will respond to your messages. It's still going to decrease the amount of people that are going to want to get on a call with you. So all of those other things are absolutely affected by that. So what you have to understand, and this is because there are a lot of spam connections going out there. There's a lot of those spam notes that are going out there that are really affecting people, where they don't want to accept them. They think they're going to be sold and pitched to. So when you can acknowledge, and if you've been seeing a decrease in the amount of accepted connections on your end, you're not doing anything wrong. That's what shifted on the platform. There's a lot more people that are hesitant, that are skeptical, and are more unwilling just to accept random connection requests now. They just don't want to do it. So understanding that those numbers have gone down will make you feel a little bit better, because it's going to let you know that you're not doing something wrong. But at the same time, you have to be very clear and specific about who you're connecting with. So that's number one. Number two, in correlation with all of that, message requests are down. So when you realize that the numbers are also down with message responses, as I stated, they're all layered together. So again, if the acceptance rates are down, which I just stated they are, that's going to automatically mean that people responding to your messages are down. Because as I was stating, 2021, 2022, if you were getting 35 to 45 new connection acceptances per week, and for every 5 that you sent, you were getting a response back, you're looking at 7 to 10 people responding back that they want to talk. So you're booking 7 to 10 calls every single week, which means you're booking almost 40 calls a month. Now, if you figure in the new math, where you're getting 15 to 30 new accepted connections, and you're messaging 1 out of every 5. That is for people that don't know this, that is a safe number. 1 out of every 5 messages that you send, if it's sent the right way, you're not spamming, you're looking to connect with someone, you're going to get a response back. So 1 out of every 5. So if you're, say, between 15 to 30, so let's call it 20, right? For every 5 that you're sending, where you were booking 7 to 10 calls a week, that number is down to about 4. Now, I tell people a strong marker and indication that you're doing things right is you're booking 3 to 5 new calls a week. These are calls that people want to hear what you're doing, how you help people. Maybe there's some collaborative efforts there. If you're booking 3 to 5 calls a week, you're doing great. I just want you to pat yourself on the back. You are. But there are still people out there that are saying, hey, you can book 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 calls a week, 100 of calls a month. No. And then you get those spammy appointment setters saying, hey, can you handle 30 new calls a month? Let our appointment setters do it for you, or you get your money back. It's BS. It's not true. It's a fallacy. So when you understand that the rate of people accepting your connection requests are down, that is also going to correlate to the amount of messages people responding back from are also down. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this is my honest opinion, too much automation is ruining the platform. Now, I'm actually going to be doing, at the time that you may be listening to this, if it's in the morning, then I invite you to head over to my LinkedIn profile at around 1 p.m. EDT today. My friend Adrian Weimer and I are going to be doing kind of like a state of the union as far as what's going on with all the automated process and spamminess on LinkedIn. She does consulting and coaching, helping people with LinkedIn, as do I. So we're going to have a very open conversation. So I'm going to invite you to that. I will leave the link to my LinkedIn profile in the description of this episode. And if you click on it, all you have to do is hit my follow button and turn my LinkedIn notification bell on. After you follow me, you'll see a little bell to the right of my headline. You'll get notified when we go live today, or you can watch it on the replay. It'll be in my timeline on LinkedIn. And, there is too much automation going on with LinkedIn. Now, I'm not talking about scheduling posts, because content schedulers are different than automation. So the user agreement on LinkedIn states that you can't use any automated processes that connect and message for you, meaning using software. So there are people that are still using software that connect and message for you, which you're violating the user agreement that you accepted that you would follow on LinkedIn. But the second thing it's doing is it's ruining the networking aspect of LinkedIn. And I know if you're listening to this, you're sick and tired of getting those 18 paragraph long drunkalog verbal vomit messages. You're also tired of getting those verbal vomit sales pitch connection notes that are added. And if you're listening to this and you've used software on LinkedIn to connect and message, you probably got dinged at some way, shape, or form, because someone actually reached out to me. They're like, Scott, you have no idea. I was told I can use this software. Within 3 weeks, my account was blocked and I had to start over from scratch. And LinkedIn doesn't mess around. If you violate their user agreement, they don't just restrict you. They don't just block you. They delete you altogether. And in my honest feeling, LinkedIn is a networking and connecting platform. It's for people to, provide information that's educational, information-based, but to network and explore opportunities. But people that are using these automated processes to set it and forget it. You cannot automate human connection. I don't care what you say. You can't. You have to create that human connection. And I'll finish with this. If you don't have 15 to 20 minutes a day to organically go onto LinkedIn each and every day to search and connect for people that you want to collaborate with or talk to, you don't have that same amount of time to message people organically and properly, or create a piece of content that really educates and informs your audience the right way, you shouldn't be on LinkedIn in the first place. Go hang out on Facebook, go hang around on TikTok or Instagram, and that's completely fine. But please do not automate your human connection process. even though you're being told it's okay, we're abiding by all the user agreement. No, if they're telling you they're abiding by the user agreement, they have violated it by creating the software that you're not supposed to be using. So I've talked about this before, but just so you know, if you're seeing a decrease in the amount of people accepting your connection requests, it is normal. If you're seeing a decrease in the amount of people responding to your messages, it's normal. And if you're seeing an overabundance of spammy, gross, selling and pitching type automation through messages and through connection request notes, that is what's going on right now, and it needs to change. And I don't want you to fall into that trap of thinking it's okay to use because you're better than that. And all you have to do is just use it properly. And just remember, building your business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So stay in the game long enough to succeed, connect with people organically, create those human connection points, and watch your business flourish. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love and gratitude to each and every one of you. If you're interested in learning more about Expert Authority, the link will be in the description of this episode. And also I invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn so you can check out the live that I did with my friend Adrian, where we talked about all about this and more. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.